Uh, Dr. Anulan, we are now live.
Yes, sir. The two people, Saubarnika and Paul Gary, needs to.
Sauber,
Dr. Anulan, we are now live.
Yes, sir. The two people, Saubarnika and Paul Gary, needs to.
Sauber,
Dr. Anulan, we are now live.
Yes, sir. The two people, Saubarnika and Paul Gary, needs to.
Sauber, Dr. Anulan, we are now live.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am. I'm able to unmute now.
Dr. Anulan, I don't see Gary. Okay, his name is Paul William. Right. All right. Paul William has also been made as a co-host. Dr. Anulan, I'll make you as a host. And
I don't see Gary. Okay, his name is Paul William.
William,
Right.
you're right, sir. So both of them can unmute themselves and they can talk.
Yes, ma'am, I am here.
Yes, ma'am. I'm able to unmute now. Thank you.
Right.
You're right, sir.
William.
Shall I do the college prayer? Ma'am?
You're right, sir.
okay, so I think somebody's kept the YouTube channel open. May I request you to close the YouTube channel?
Sir, I didn't get you.
Somebody has kept also the YouTube channel open. You may need to
Ma'am?
close the YouTube channel because it's also echoing in the speakers. So anyway, now I'll make Dr. Anulan, you are the host now, and I'll leave now.
Sir, I think it is perfect now.
I said he will wait for your announcement, then he will start playing. Taking distance.
So, good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll wait for 5 more minutes for the other friends to join. Then we'll start with the opening prayer, followed by introduction of the speaker. Then we'll go ahead with the talk. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome you all to this invited lecture series 1, hosted by Dr. Chandran Devanesan Center for Human Resource Development, Madras Christian College. A heartfelt welcome to each and every one of you here. May now request Mr. Paul William Carey to do the Lord's Prayer, our college prayer, sorry. Over to you,
Yes.
Paul.
Yes, ma'am. Shall we pray? O thou who in days past didn't put it into the hearts of good men to found this college for the imparting of sound learning, the building of character, and the spread of spiritual truth and knowledge of thyself. Bless our college and schools. May love, unity, and brotherhood be learnt here. May industry, uprightness, and courage grow here. And from this place may there be sent forth continually a stream of men and women who shall serve thee faithfully in thy world. Amen.
Thank you, Paul. May now request Ms. Saubernika from the Department of Political Science to introduce the speaker for the day. Over to Saubernika.
Good morning to respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, beloved teachers, and my dear friends. Today, it's my privilege and honor to introduce today's speaker, Professor Vivian B., a dedicated educator and an accomplished academic professional. Professor Vivian B. holds a strong academic foundation in both psychology and science. He has earned his Bachelor of Science in Physics in 2012 from Loyola College, Chennai, and completed his Masters of Science in Human Resource Development Psychology from the University of Madras in the year 2015. As a dedicated educator and a versatile professional with a strong foundation in psychology, curriculum development, and project coordination. Throughout his career, he has combined academic expertise with practical industry experience to foster student success and contribute meaningfully to research and educational innovation. Sir is passionate about applying research driven methods and individualized teaching approaches to create impactful learning environments. Professor Vivian's professional journey began as an assistant professor at MSSW, where he taught courses including psychopathology, positive psychology, life skills, training modules, psychological assessments, and school counseling, apart from mentoring students and guiding their dissertations. Following this, he has expanded his skill set in curriculum design during his tenure at an edutech company where he developed learning objectives, conducted skill gap analysis, and prepared engaging educational content tailored to diverse learner needs. Professor Vivian also has an experience working with a leading animation company, client management, and managing product schedules, conducting market research, managing client relationships, and overseeing company branding initiatives. These diverse experiences have enriched his professional perspective, enabling him to integrate organizational research and communication skills effectively. They have also enhanced his ability to work collaboratively across disciplines and adapt to evolving academic and industry demands. His research interests lie primarily in psychological assessment, positive psychology, and the development of life skill training programs. He is committed in advancing evidence based practices in education and mental health with a focus on applying data driven methods to improve student outcomes and well being. So, today we are truly fortunate to have such a passionate educator and insightful professional amidst us. Let us warmly welcome Professor Vivian B. to share his knowledge and expertise with us. We wholeheartedly welcome you to today's program, sir.
Yes, thank you
Thank you,
so
Saubernika.
much for the kind words. Am I audible?
Yes, Vivian, you are.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So can we have the videos on just so I can see the faces?
So, friends, we would like to see your happy faces, right? You can turn on the videos. Please unmute your videos.
Okay, very camera shy people. Okay, yeah. So before we start, okay, so as you can see in the screen, right, the topic is going to be about mental health, right? Before that, um, could a few of you tell me what do you understand by life? What is life to you? What does life mean to you? Very philosophical, but yes. Maybe you can put your answers in the chat box or unmute yourself and answer. Do they have the facility to unmute, ma'am, or is that restricted?
If they raise their hands, I can try to
Okay,
unmute.
ma'am.
Or you can use the emojis as an expression of your answers.
It's a journey of experiences. Okay. What else? What does life mean to you? Okay, how do you want your life to be? Unpredictable? Yes. Any other answers anyone wants to share? Okay, so we have harvesting wisdom and character. Interesting. Ability to choose your own freedom. Life is always about all about enjoying things that we have, to live life to the fullest. Right? So all of you have a fair understanding of what life is, correct? So probably we'll have a little more idea as we progress through the presentations, right? So what is life in a nutshell, right? What we expect, right? To be to be what we can be, right? To live life to our fullest, right? And then life has to show up in its way, correct? So just listen to the dialogue. Is the audio audible, ma'am?
No, Professor Vivian, we're not
Okay,
able.
just a minute.
The audio is not supported, I believe.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm just, yeah. Okay, we have a few artists who are.
Rohit seems to be very busy.
Right?
What the unexpected incident?
Right? Is the audio audible now, ma'am?
Yes, very much.
Yes, ma'am. So, as you guys said, life is always unpredictable, right? No matter what we plan, there is always something which life throws at us, right? So, you always hear life when life gives you lemons, make lemonade, right? But just look at the lemons which we have, right? And this has been going on from the year 2020, right? And still hasn't changed, right? What was the year 2020? What was 2020 famous for? What was 2020 famous for? Lockdown, COVID, right? And I don't think we ever recovered from all that what happened during the COVID times, right? Right from the shots to staying cooped up at home, right? So coming back, okay. And apart from this, okay, so life already has a lot of unexpected events, okay, and also you will have these kind of people in your life, right? those who, wow, people who ask you whether you're happy, right? Jolly arka machan, right? So immediately when they ask you, it's rage baiting. Okay, they want a emotional response from you, and they ask you these questions, right? So the reason why we actually looked at these few, perspectives on life is, okay, Rohit. Okay, so
You've been of great support to us. Yeah, we appreciate your enthusiasm. Yeah.
so yeah, so life always has a way of always taunting us, right? So what is mental health according to you? What do you understand by the word mental health? Probably you can put your answers in the chat box, or probably raise your hand so that ma'am can unmute you. What does mental health mean to you? Because now you hear mental health in so many places, right? Mental health advocacy is on the rise everywhere. So if that's the case, what does mental health mean to you? Being emotionally stable, that's one. Emotional well-being, great. Stability of mind to do everyday chores efficiently. Hmm, nice. Anything else you guys want to add? All of you are right on the mark. Anything else you want to add? The condition where you can rightly decide what is right or wrong. Interesting, right? So before we start, okay, so I have planned this session in two phases. Okay, so the first phase will be trying to understand what mental health means, right? What are the implications of that and all those things. We'll try to understand those things. Then we'll go for a short Q&A session wherein you can ask your doubts, you can clarify doubts, you can ask whatever you want to get clarified. And then we'll probably go into the second phase of the session today, wherein we'll be learning about how to actually manage ourselves better. Okay, so more of practical tips on how we can better ourselves. Okay, so that's how I've divided the session for today, right? So now, so all of you can read this, understanding mental health. Yes. So mental health encompasses our emotional well-being, as you guys said, cognitive clarity, and social connections, right? It's the foundation that enables us to navigate daily challenges, from managing exam stress to nurturing meaningful friendships and achieving our ambitions, right? So does this encompass all these concepts you have given me in the chat box, right? All of you given the answers, right? So put all this together and we have mental health. Okay, so always we are obsessed with book definitions, right? So we'll see what mental health means according to the books, right? So here, okay, this definition is given by the WHO. All of you are familiar with the World Health Organization, right? So WHO defines mental health as a state of complete well-being where individuals realize their abilities, cope with normal life stresses, work productively, and contribute to the communities, right? So it is not just our well-being, right? It is also a collective thing wherein you, along with the community, progress. Okay, so it is our ability to, manage our day-to-day stresses. Okay, manage our day-to-day stresses. Make right decisions, as you guys said. Okay, and be or live our lives to the fullest. Okay, and what is given on this right side, the reality in India, that is where the primary concern is for us, right? Approximately 7.5 Indians experience mental health disorders, yet stigma often prevents them from seeking mental health. You know, many misconceive these challenges as personal weakness rather than legitimate health conditions and requiring care, right? So, how many of you have actually experienced any, crisis in life wherein you needed a help, wherein you thought, okay, there, it would be nice to have someone back you up, someone to talk to, right? Or places wherein you wondered, okay, maybe I should seek professional help. Have you had any of these moments? In case you guys have, you can just raise your hands in the chat itself. We'll know, right? Times when you thought, okay, maybe I should, consult a professional and seek help for my mental health, right? How many of you have had those moments? How many of you actually sought out professional help after that? Realizing that you need help is one, right? Yes, good. And how many of you sought that help you which you needed, right? Whether it is in our college, we have the student counseling services, right? I think all of you are aware of that, right? We have our student counseling services in case you need any of the assistance here inside the campus. But apart from this, okay, consider people from the previous generation, maybe 10 years elder than you, right? 15 years elder than you. How many of those people are actually ready to get the help they need, right? So in India, we face a lot of stigma wherein people still believe, okay, mental health issues are because a person is morally or psychologically weak, right? It is seen as a sign of weakness. So anyone who goes for seeking professional help is seen as someone who has a mental illness. Okay, so okay, before we start, I want to understand who goes to psychologists for help. Who are the people who approach psychologists for help? Just put your answer in the chat box. A few will do, 2 or 3. Is it just the mentally ill people with serious problems, let's say depression, right? Is it just them? Or can anyone approach a psychologist or a mental health professional for that matter? Anyone who feels they need some sort of support, right? Correct. People in need of mental support or just someone to hear them out. Very true. Feel free to raise your hands. Okay, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Right? So, who's unable to cope with daily life, right? So, it is not just people who are having mental disorders, but it's also people who are trying to cope with daily life stresses. Okay, so it is not just the mentally ill who actually need mental health, but also us in our day-to-day lives when we find it difficult to cope with our problems, right? But in India, a lot of these people don't. Okay, so what is the result of this, right? In memes, you might see this. Okay, a lot of people end up in therapy because the people who need therapy don't go for therapy, right? Did you hear what I said? A lot of people who end up in therapy are in therapy because of people who don't go for therapy, right? There is some problem, there is something which needs addressing, okay, but they're not ready to take the help which they need, right? Typically, you might find uncles and aunts in your families like that, right? All of us have some nosy uncle, some nosy aunt who will always question you, okay, and they'll bring all their problems into your life, right? They don't deal with their problems, you have to deal with their problems, right? All of you would have had some experience of this sort, right? Especially when you are probably you know looking for colleges, right? Looking for colleges, which college to join, what course to choose, and there will be always this one uncle who says, I couldn't do engineering, so you should do engineering, right? As though every course in India is just engineering and nothing else is actually worthwhile pursuing, right? So a lot of people don't deal with their problems. Okay, so and people who are in close vicinity of them are actually affected by those, right? So it becomes difficult for us as individuals to cope up with our problems and actually take on the baggage from others also, right? That is why India is really struggling with mental health. Okay, and do you guys know that India has the largest working force? We have the upcoming largest working force in the world? Yes, no, right? Because you guys, as the youth of the country, right, you are the next pillars who are going to hold the country up. Okay, and we have the largest workforce. Okay, but at the same time, we also lead the world in suicide rates. You guys know that? Interestingly enough, India leads the world in suicide rate, especially adolescent suicides. Are you guys aware of this? Okay, so in case you are not, okay, this is where India stands. Okay, and the in case you guys want to read up on it, there is this National Crime Records Bureau. Okay, they publish a biannual report of crimes and everything which happens in India. So they also have the suicide statistics of India being published every 2 years. So in case you guys are curious about it, please go check it out. Right. So that is why India is in need of mental health assistance. Right. And the sad part is we don't have enough people to help us. Okay, so we'll be learning about that a little later also, right? So a lot of Indians actually refuse taking help when they need it. Okay, moving on, right? Why your mental health matters, right? All of you can read these, right? As students, your academic success, right? Your mental health depends on it. Physical well-being, you know, if you feel your mind can affect your physical health, right? We call it psychosomatic. Okay, so in case you guys are familiar with that, so if you think, okay, you are sick, you are not well, your body will respond to it. Okay, that's how powerful your brain is. Okay, so anything you feed inside actually comes true, right? So it can affect you physically as well. Okay, apart from that, relationships, right? So, as I said, mental health is not just us flourishing, but it is also us growing with the community. Okay, man is a social animal and we cannot live in isolated silos, right? So, we have to have a social network wherein we are able to bond with other fellow human beings and live a fulfilling life, right? We cannot live as a hermit. Okay, so these are three primary areas where mental health matters, especially for students like yourself. Okay, and look at the fact given below, right? India faces a projected economic loss of 1.3 trillion by 2030 due to untreated mental health conditions, right? This is India's alarming statistics, right? Because we do not have qualified professionals, we do not have people who are willing to take mental health, support. Okay, the workforce which we are going to have, which is supposed to be the biggest strength of the country among the world, right? We are losing it because of this, right? Because people are refusing to take help, saying, yes, I am struggling, I need help, right? Sometimes we also do that, maybe consciously, maybe unconsciously, right? Whenever we're going through some trouble, we might think, okay, maybe I'm bothering someone else. Okay, maybe I'm not strong enough, I just need to man up, right? Common things which we tell ourselves, right? But may not be the best thing to do. Okay, so this is another statistics on where India stands in terms of mental health, right? So now we look at some common, mental health myths which we hear in our, hear from our neighbors, from our friends, from our family members, and all that, right? How many of you have had this moment, right? When you're going through an anxiety attack or when you're feeling depressed or sad, and people say, "Don't be sad," and immediately your, the depression and the sadness goes out of your body, right? Doesn't work that way, right? It's not a miracle, right? So Common myths. Mental illness is just lack of willpower. That means saying I'm weak. Okay, mental health conditions are real medical issues influenced by genetics, brain chemistry, traumatic experiences, and environmental stresses. Okay, they require proper treatment just like any other physical illness. Right? The thing is, whenever we have any sort of an issue, right, whether we have a running nose, whether we have a headache, immediately we go to a pharmacist, get probably a Dolo or an anti-allergen and just pop it, right? But when it comes to mental health, we don't do it. We refuse to do it, right? We don't go for help which we need. Okay, it may not be as severe as going to a psychiatrist for a depression, but still, whenever we are going through crisis and stresses are not, in our control, we can seek help. Okay, but a lot of people think it's not, needed, right? So it's and at this point, mental health is a luxury in India, right? Do you know how much people charge for a therapy session in India? How many of you are aware of this? How much do they charge for counseling services, or as a mental health practitioner? How much do you think they charge? Any guesses? Okay, from 2,500 onwards. Yes, we have 2,500. So, as a mental health practitioner, okay, on an average, people can charge from somewhere starting with around 500 to 800 rupees per hour. Okay, I'm talking about an hourly charge, and it goes all the way up to 15,000 rupees, right? And that is as far as I've heard, it might be even more in certain cases, right? So that's how much we charge people to help with their mental health problems. Okay, and as a developing country, do you think we can afford it? Right? How many people can afford a decent mental health support service in India, right? That's the biggest challenge because as of now, we do not have a license